Yes, so guys, the session is about the managing teams and projects on GitHub, right? So first of all, this is the UI of GitHub. That's how your profile will be shown on GitHub. On the left side, there will be description and your social network and the organization which you joined. Like uh, the few organization will be you will be working voluntarily for those organizations or maybe as a full time for an organization. And here is the readme.md which you should build to show your contribution to the world, right? And here are the projects which we pinned on GitHub, uh, all so that your followers or maybe the one who is uh, maybe a lead is looking for your projects. You can see your pinned project first because pinned project is something in which you put more value, right? So here are my pinned projects, and here will be your contribution. Contribution graph is uh, a very important thing in GitHub, right? So your private contribution, your public contribution will be shown here. Even though I off private contributions within my GitHub, and these all are open source contribution, right? Within the open source project and within the different you can do it voluntarily, right? And now let's jump into the PR review section, right? Uh, so I recently received a PR in my one of the project, which was first contribution for beginners. This project was very beginner project because nowadays phase, Hacktoberfest is going on, right? Hacktoberfest is going on, and everyone is working hard for the Hacktoberfest, right? So if you look into Hacktoberfest and and yeah, this is the Hacktoberfest, right? And you can like log into the Hacktoberfest using your GitHub credentials, and then you can start hacking. You at least need to send 4 PRs, right? To get shortlisted for Hacktoberfest. They will send you a shirt, and you will also learn about open source, right? To how to build uh, the projects and how to work in teams. You will learn everything with the Hacktoberfest. Hacktoberfest mostly they do this event every year in the month of October, right? So October is going to end, but at least we have few days to complete this event. You just need to send four pull requests. The pull request maybe from GitHub or GitLab, right? So nowadays I am receiving so many pull requests on this project. This is the project which I built 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, but I am still receiving pull requests on this project. So here are the overall pull requests. So I'm taking this project as an example of how I work in the open source world, right? And because we don't work in PRs in our current private projects, so I will be showing. So first of all, in GitHub we have a default branch, right? Default branch is something like a main or master branch. So I actually change my default branch to development. We can use any other branch, like development or maybe someone use nowadays GitHub automatically choose main branch as default branch. Previously it was master branch, right? So I changed the main branch to development branch so that I can do all the development stuff here. And you can do this if you go to the settings of a repository, and then if you switch to the branches, like the branches section of a repository, you can actually add a rule like within the repository, and you can also choose the default branch, right? If I rename, I can also rename my branch from here, right? And I can also add a protection rule. I can add something like this, that my branch's name should be start like this, or ticket. Maybe if we have a ticket of Jira or Asana or maybe something like this, we can uh, we can create our branches something like the ticket, and after that the number of the ticket. Each ticket in Asana and in Jira have a different number, right? So the mostly corporate follow this way, right? They actually prefer the developer team to create a branch according to the ticket number, right? Because the ticket name and ticket description are like they contain a lot of characters, so they mostly prefer a number, right? So that's why they say that create a branch of it using ticket number. So so I added a branch protection rule, right? That ticket and asterisk. So my all the branches will should be as ticket, the ticket and the number, right? And I can say that require a pull request before merging. So no one can merge on this branch. Uh, Everyone should send me a PR before merging anything within this branch, right? And I can also require review from code owners. So mostly we select code owners, right? We select code owners that within an organization there will be like a lot of members, right? And we can select 2 or 3 members to review the PR, right? Here I am selecting the 3 members to review a PR whenever it's sent to this branch, right? And restrict who can dismiss PR status. And there are a lot of like checks which we can include, and we can also enforce all the rules to administrator, even so that administrator cannot do anything weird uh, within these branches, right? And allow force pushes if now suppose uh, if I will be giving you another example. This is my development branch and this is the default branch. So here is it. Whenever someone send me a PR, first I will review that PR, right? I will review that pull request, and like I will require a review if in that PR we will also require review from code owner. So I am actually the code owner, and and anyone can review a PR from my team, right? So I will give you an example here. So let's see. Uh, See, in this PR, the user uh, coding species, they review the PR, right? Even though I didn't review the PR yet, so they can't merge the PR actually because I added restriction within it. Whenever if I review a PR and I approve it, so then they can merge it, right? So this is the branch protection rule in GitHub, and very useful rules, right? So that no one can merge without my permission. They can review. Everyone can review a PR, right? But they can't merge a PR without my permission, even my team members, right? So whenever I approve the change, and the merge button will be available to my team members also, so that if I was unable to merge the PR, they can merge it. Okay. So this is the little bit about branches protection rule in GitHub. And uh, if I can show you more, so let's see how I review. Yeah, I will be showing you how I review. Yeah. First of all, uh, what is a PR? A PR is a page, right? In software development industry, what a PR is a page, and page means whenever we add a feature, a new feature or a new functionality, we send a new page, right? We actually send a new PR to the admin, to the administrator, to review your patch, to review your functionality, and then merge it within the project. So this one, this is gitkernel.org. Gitkernel.org. This is where uh, the Git journey started. Git was actually created by the founder of Linux, known as Linus. His name is Linus. He actually created the Linux kernel, and he is also the mastermind behind Git, right? So here is all the code of the thing like the Linux kernel, Bluetooth devices, everything. within this repository. They don't use GitHub because Linux is one of the biggest projects uh, in the world, right? So let get back to the PR. So first of all, a PR should have a descriptive description, right? A description which should define what this PR is doing. So in, make sure we should write good uh, description. For example, add Akshay here, add user, Akshay here. Uh, is in, member.json, right? We can we can do something like this to actually describe what our PR is, uh, and now one more thing. Whenever you send a PR, make sure your PR should have a one comment. This is known as commit squash, right? We actually squash all the comments into one, so that because a commit is a like a PR is a page, and we don't need multiple commits within a page, because one PR should do one thing. One more thing, one PR should do one thing. We we shouldn't send the like big PR. There's a no sense of a big PR. A PR, a pull request should do one thing. It should maybe uh, it should be a new functionality. It should be a bug fix. It should be whatever you are doing. Like, but it should do one thing. It should be of one ticket, right? And not more than that, because this will be hard for the reviewer to review it. Okay. So here is all the conversation was is going on within the PR pull request, right? So you can read it, you can actually do some add your reaction within the uh, of the comment, and here are the file change. Here are the here are all the files which was like changed with this PR. So this guy changed a lot of files, and uh, but let me show you uh, how we do it, right? Suppose if you think here is the mistake, right? And you think this this should not be here, right? The guy, the owner of this, the one which sent the PR, the user done a mistake here. You can simply add, select it and add a comment here. Right? Remove this, right? And just add a single comment. And then you should click on the single comment, and then it will add the comment within as a whole, and then you just click on the submit review. This will actually send review to the user within the PR, right? So I'm closing it, and you can also add one by one, like here. Okay, so that's how we review PR. And whenever you review the whole file, or so just click on view, right? So one out of one file view, there was one file and I viewed the whole, and I just uh, if I actually like found some changes, so I will request changes, and please fix these changes, right? Please fix these changes. So I will submit my review, and then this will show something like the conversation which you are going within the conversation, right? And if I approve the changes, I will like I will write LGTM. Looks good to me. This is the short form which open source developer use. LGTM looks good to me. Everything is good. Right? And if I want to comment on something. Suppose I add a comment on different. Uh, I added a comment here. One. So and then I added a comment here. Comment two, and I want to send the comment to the user. So I will like add a comment here and then submit my review. Right. add a single comment. I first click on add a single comment of each and then submit my review to the user. Then that will show here, right? My comment will show something like this, the comments which my member has. So that's how open source projects work, and that's how we can use it within our organization at Conte. And and issues. Let's talk about issues, right? So creating an issue is something like suppose whenever I found an issue within a project, I create an issue here, right? So this is like website is not working, or maybe I just add some screenshot that the website is not working on my system so that they can guide me. So that's how issue works. Or maybe I can write something like this. Uh, uh, there is a bug on uh, on this line etc, and I share a screenshot, and then I assign it to, I ask the organization members, or maybe someone from the team to assign this issue to me because I am interested to solve it. So they assign that issue to me, uh, so that I can solve it. But uh, you are free to create issues within the GitHub repository. If your issue is valid, they will assign to you or they will assign to someone else. If you want to work within within a project, just create an issue there, right? And just write, I am interested to work on this issue. If that issue is valid, they will not close your issue and they will assign to you to work on that issue. But if that issue is invalid or maybe a duplicate issue, they will like close the issue. So that's how PR works, right? And transfer the ownership of one repository to another. Suppose if a repository is within my account, right? I can and I want to transfer it to my organization. I can easily do it by clicking on the transfer repo. This will ask the organization name. If I write 94 Dev, and it will then I click, I understand, transfer this repo. This will transfer it to the 94 Dev repo. Very easy, right? I can also change the visibility of the uh, repo if I want. If sometimes I also publish my project as a public, from private to public, so I change the visibility of them. If you want to delete the repo, which I don't prefer, you can delete it also. And a sponsorship is a different thing. We can also add sponsors within the repo. If mostly sponsors are of your contributors or maybe someone from the community, they actually pay you for this work, and this is the sponsor button where they will donate. But not they not a lot of people donate like on open source. They just everyone is doing it for free, right? Everyone is doing it for fun, so they don't donate. uh, so it's now let's go back to 94 dev, uh, and here is my suggestion how we will be uh, doing it, right? Doing everything. So so here is my suggestion. First of all, we can here's my suggestion or my experience which I'm sharing. We can create different branches, right? The development branch or QA branch, development, QA, and production branch, right? And each project should be somewhere go to production, right? And user will be using it somewhere. So we can add a CI/CD within it if we want to, or we are deploying it manually. That's fine, but we should have three branches at least: the development branch, QA branch, and production branch. And rest of the branches should be created using ticket. We are not using any management tool right now like Asana or Jira, but we are using Trello, right? And I'm not sure about Trello. Do they create like the unique number so that we can create branches from? that number, right? And actually we can also use this project thing within the GitHub, where we can manage the workflow, right? For project we can plan, assign task and track each break task and progress, etc. So this this is a nice tool to organize your project within GitHub and automate the workflow, right? uh, and issues. So mostly whenever you create a project and you like create a task within that project, this will the issue will be automatically created, right? And whenever you create a project and assign it to any team members, this will automatically create an issue here, right? So let me show you. Guys, one more thing. If you have access to like all the repositories of 94 dev, right? I will suggest you, because we are working on different projects, I will suggest you to watch out the projects and what is going on within the project, right? You can like do something like this. See, I'm if if you click on the 94 dev solve, you can see all the projects, right? So I will suggest you to click on a project and just watch it, what is going on, because you are a member of team, right? And so you will receive a notification that the Naseeb merged the PR with master, and like, you will receive notification of everything what is going on within the projects, or what is like going on within a, someone send a PR pull request, so everything will be there. So in Browserbird we have closed PR, right? 45 closed PR and 45 so let me see if we can do something. So here is the issue 93, right? And issue, okay, I'm adding 93. Fix 93. This issue is closed. So already added a comment. Oh, we received notification ad on the browser. Uh, so we can see what the PR is about. Here is the PR. So here is the issue, right? So I added a comment within the PR that I fixed 93, and it will redirect us to the issue, what that issue was all about, right? So we should create a issue. Uh, we should first create an issue and then create a pull request for it. So that's how everything works. But make sure you all uh, watch each and every project, because this will help you to get idea of what everyone is working on. If see, I am working on YouTube Pro, you can also like watch it, right? Watch this project, because I am a contributor, so I automatically receive notification. What? Just click on watch button. Just click on it and select all activities. You will receive notification. You will receive emails about all the activities. Everything is going on within this project. So, and thing, one more thing we forget to mention is there is a different MD files within an object. Right? First of all, let's talk about a repo. So we have a about section. A about section should be descriptive, right? It should describe what this project is about, which we are not doing it right now. And we should have a descriptive readme.md, right? We should define that how to run this project and something like this. And our project should be MIT licensed. If our project is open source, it should be MIT licensed. Otherwise, not required. And we can also add some releases, right? We can create a new release of each project. Suppose if we have different branches, development, QA, production, whenever the code push to production, we will be like creating release of it whenever we want to release, like after two weeks, or maybe every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. uh, depending on the sprint, like sprint is a project management thing which mostly project manager use. Mostly they choose sprint to 1 week to 2 weeks, right? And there is also packages. I don't know much about packages because I don't never use them, but but this thing is important, the releases thing, right? And one more thing, uh, you guys, I think you guys are only aware of readme.md, but there are a lot of MD files within a project. Let me show you my open source project and how I maintain each and every uh, and, and why they are so useful, the MD files, right? So we don't need those empty files within our private projects, but just for your understanding, right? So the first one is readme.md. The main here is the readme.md where we are teaching everyone that how you can make a contribution within the project. So mostly nowadays Oktoberfest event is going on, so everyone is sending PR here because this is a very beginner project, right? And license.md. License.md is something like the one which I discussed, the MIT license. So here is the file, and it will shows here that this is MIT license and contributing.md. So contributing.md is a file mostly open source developers search, right? They mostly search, right? I know this project. Uh, I saw this project, but how will I going to contribute within this project? So here is the overall instruction of how you can contribute within this project and the code of conduct. The code of conduct mostly is the file which open source developer use if they found someone like uh, someone is a team member is abusive or something like this, they can send a PR, or if they someone is copying the code or something like this, they can also contact on this email address. And change log. Change log is a file which everyone maintain within the open source project, but it is very hard to maintain because we already have a releases section here, but it is not required. The changelog.md is not required, right? And the changelog of MD is something like this. The version 1.00, these things were added by this, and version 2. Like 1.2, these things were added by him and all the team members, right? And here is the sponsor which I discussed, and here is all the contribution and environments, right? The environment is something like CI, CD to deployment to the different server. And here is the one more thing. If we want to contribution of our team members within the project, this is a good way. We can use the board. This will actually show the they will. These are all the projects they contributed within the project, right? Within this project. So I add as a contributor one by one. If we add this board within the project, so within our 94-day project, this will be very great because the team will be more excited that they are added as a contributor and here is the picture. So I think that's all from my side.